Shalom. I want to begin this lesson first and foremost by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. That's how to give double honor to our teachers, the head apostle, the elders, a great millstone that taught us the 100% truth, according to the Bible, who rule well, who teach well, and that's like to get up Shalom. To the elders, slash bishops, and the man's on down, peace and safety to the hopeful elect, and much love to the Icons, across the four winds, pushing expressive words, sincerity and the truth. I came across this article, Fox, Carolina. It says 2 earthquakes reported minutes apart in North Carolina overnight. 2 earthquakes happened back to back here in North Carolina, and this is all prophecy, Bible prophecy. Because the scriptures talks about earthquakes and that these things will be going on in the earth in these last days, prior to the return of Yahweh Shai. It says Greensboro, North Carolina. It says the USGS, which stands for United States Geological Survey, reported 2 earthquakes just minutes apart in North Carolina early Tuesday morning. And according to the USGS, the first earthquake hit 2.2 miles west of Lawnsville, however you say it, at 1:19 a.m. It had 2-point magnitude and a depth of 0 kilometers. The quake was also 6 miles northeast of Greensboro. The second earthquake hit at 1:22 a.m., just 3.7 miles northeast of Greensboro. It had a 2.2 magnitude, depth of 1 kilometer. Both earthquakes were close to North Carolina and the Virginia border region. All right, and I was looking into how many earthquakes happened in the past 24 hours. And today it says 6.5 magnitude earthquake near Sola. It says there has been magnitude of 1.5 or greater earthquakes. 86 earthquake in the past 24 hours, and you have 751 earthquakes in the past 7 days, and 3,384 earthquakes in the past 30 days, and 52,257 earthquakes in the past 365 days. All right. Why? Ultimately, because it's being orchestrated by the Lord. Okay, let's grab some scriptures, and Lord willing, the lessons edifying to the elect. That's who we'll do these videos for. But yet, these things are being orchestrated by the Lord. This Isaiah 29:6, it says, "Thou shalt be visited." Isaiah 29:6, "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquakes and great noise, with storm and tempest and a flame of devouring fire." All right, and we see that these things are going on. Okay, throughout the four corners of the earth, you got earthquakes happening in diverse places, and we know North Carolina don't normally get hits with earthquakes, so this is a diverse place, and you have thunderstorms going on. Okay, you got floods. Okay, you got fires. Okay, that's been going on recently down there in Maui. Okay. So the Bible prophecy is speaking, man. And in the last 24 hours there has been what they say like 86 earthquakes. Okay. And these earthquakes are biblical, man. All right. Earthquakes are talked about here in the scriptures. Okay. Matthew the 24th chapter, second Esdras, I believe, is it the 8th or 9th chapter? It goes into how there should be uproars of the people and earthquakes. It's all prophecy, as well as many other scriptures like Luke the 21st chapter, and it's all coming from the Lord, man. Who everyone thinks is all love, man. All right, so let's go ahead and get this. Let's go to Matthew's. This is Matthew chapter 24. Matthew 24 and verse 7. It says, "For nations shall rise against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms." All right, and we still hearing about I read up Matthew 24 and 6 says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things come to pass, but the end is not yet." And we still hearing about wars. All right, and we actually have wars popping off, and you're gonna hear about these things in the last days until it plays out physically, because we are living in a time of World War III. Okay, that's heating up. That's what's being talked about, and that's what all these nations are gearing up for. Okay, I read a article, I believe was yesterday. Kim Jong, the guy from China, no, the guy from Korea, one of them, that was testing out their missiles. They're gearing up, IC-band missiles. Okay, and these are the times that we're living in. All right. War is on the rise. Matthew 24 it says, "And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, and see that ye not be troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but it's not yet," because prophecy had to play out. All right, but scriptures say the end is not yet, and to be not troubled. The elect. These things had to come. These things had to happen before the Israelites in the kingdom. It says, continue reading Matthew 24:7. "For nations shall rise against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms." You're gonna have these different nations, fighting amongst each other. You can have civil wars, class wars. All these nations coming up against America. This is all Bible prophecy. All right. It says, and there should be famines. Okay. Lack of bread, food, water, resources. Whether it's man-made, or not. These things are going to befall our people in these latter days. And pestilence, that too. Like the Curious George, you got a brain-eating disease that's going around here in the U.S. It's all coming from Yahweh Shemashai. All right. And earthquakes in diverse places. That's the point. Earthquakes are going to be in diverse places. All right. And going back to this article, 2 earthquakes has been reported minutes apart in North Carolina overnight. All right. And like I said, North Carolina doesn't normally get hit with earthquakes like that. So this is a diverse place. The scripture said that these are the beginning of sorrows, the times that we're living in. But the scripture said the end is not yet. But these are signs of the end. And knowing that, how should we be conducting ourselves? Because the Lord said that when these things happen, that He's on His way. Okay, we should be in the spirit of repenting, be in the spirit of mourning. Okay, we should be fasting. We should be seeking the Lord, fearing the Lord, having faith in the Lord. Okay, not in the spirit of partying and having fun. All right, because we are living in some deadly serious times. Let's go here to Luke. This is St. Luke 21:11. A great earthquake shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights, and great sign shall it be from heaven. And again, we just read it in Matthew's. Earthquakes in diverse places, famines, pestilence. These things are going to be going on in the latter days. And the Bible talks about it. It says, in fearful sights and great signs shall it be from heaven. And seeing the ground shake, building shakes, that's a fearful sight. And along with many other fearful sights that the Lord is going to bring, like these blood moons, okay, the chariot sightings, okay, it's all fearful sights in the eyes of these heathens, the unbelievers. But the point is of this scripture here, what earthquakes are going to be happening in the latter days, man, and it's talked about in the scriptures. And these are all signs pointing to the end times. We are living in the end times. Prophecy is speaking, and all these signs are actually pointing to Esau's downfall, man, because he's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, going back to that scripture in Esdras, the end is manifest. All right. This is 2 Esdras 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligent in itself, but when thou seest part of the signs past, which I had told you before. Right, so we're supposed to be measuring the times, and we do that through the scriptures. We see what's going on in the world today, and we link it back up with scripture. The scripture said this was going to happen, that was going to happen, so we in that time. And this is what we all should be doing as Hebrew Israelites. It says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I had told thee before, it says, and then shall thou understand that it's the very same time where the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. And it says, and then shall thou understand that Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And the Most High spoke of these things, that these things will be going on. These things will come to pass, these prophecies, okay, earthquakes, uproars of the peoples. All right, and this is what's going on throughout the four corners of the earth, mainly in America. And the prophecies are speaking, man. And these are all signs letting us know that we're at the end. Okay. And it says that then shall thou well understand the Most High spake of those days from the days that before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made, the word has a beginning and an end. The end is manifest. The Lord's making it clear that we're at the end. And we know Esau is the end of age. He's the end of age, and Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth. And as Esau going out, as we get closer and closer to, Edom going out, you're going to have uproars in people. You're going to have earthquakes going on. You're going to have chaos, mayhem. All right? And that's, pretty much a lesson. And like I said, knowing that these things are going on, we should be repenting, turning back to the Lord. All right, He's on His way. All right, the Lord's on His way, man. And you don't want to be, caught off guard when He comes. Lord, when the elect is edified to this video, and say shalom.